Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. So to jump straight into this makeup tutorial, I'm going to be taking my Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation in the shade 330 Toffee. I've been using this recently in my last few videos because I really like it. It's got great coverage and it's a great shade for me at the moment. So I'm just using my Miracle Complexion Sponge from Real Techniques just to blend that all out. So once that foundation is all blended out, I'm going to contour my face with my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in the shade NC50. If you have watched some of my previous videos, you may notice that I tend to stick with the same sort of base product. So my foundation, concealer and contour don't really change too much from video to video. And the reason for that is I know they're going to last on my skin. They look good. And I know that I won't have to touch up throughout the day. There's nothing worse than being out and about, not really wanting to pull a mirror out of your bag and look at your makeup, but not knowing whether your makeup looks awful or not because you don't trust it. With these products, I trust them completely, so I won't have to worry about that when I'm out and about. The concealer that I've been using a lot lately is the MAC Correct and Conceal palette in the shade Medium, and I tend to mix the three lighter shades on my ring finger and then just pat that underneath my eye. The reason that I like this because it's so creamy that it almost feels hydrating, and underneath the eye area that's really nice. Some concealers, particularly when they're quite full coverage, can look a bit dry and crusty, whereas this one doesn't. Those three shades of concealer are also a little bit lighter than my foundation, so I'm going to use them to highlight my face. So placing that on my chin, centre of my forehead, and blending that out with my sponge. And to set that all in place, no surprises, it is the Ben Nye banana powder. I love this powder. I've tried a few other setting powders, but nothing has worked as good as the Ben Nye banana powder for me. I think it's the colouring that I like in it. I've tried like the RCMA and the Laura Mercier, the Makeup Forever, but they're all quite chalky, and I find even though they say translucent, they do leave like a sort of white, grey, ashy tone on my skin. So I think it's the yellow tone in the banana powder that I like. So if you've got any recommendations of any good ones, let me know down below because I'd love to try some new ones, but I'm just slightly worried that I'm not going to like them and waste my money. I'm also placing that along my jawline and down the centre of my nose, just kind of like a reverse contour. You could just leave it as this if you like and not actually go in with any sort of powder contour shade or anything like that. Obviously, I'm not going to do that because I'm extra, but it's up to you. I like to do that so it makes the contour look a bit more prominent once I put it down next to it. And then I'm just dusting that powder off apart from the under eye area and then going in with MAC Deep Darkest or Dark Deepest. I'm not sure, but I'll link it down below. And I'm using this to sort of warm up the face and contour at the same time. So I'm just placing that over the top of those contoured areas. I used to use the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Give Me Sun, but I've moved on to this one because I feel like it's a little bit deeper so I can use less product. With the Give Me Sun, I found like I was sort of using quite a bit just to get it to the intensity that I wanted, but with this I can just tap it in, dust it on, and I'll use a lot less product, therefore save myself money, and I like that. Moving on to my eyes, I'm going to be taking my Urban Decay Primer Potion. This is the original one. I've been loving this lately as well. I've kind of stopped using my paint pot from MAC and moved on to this. I had a little sample from Urban Decay that I found in my drawer a few videos ago actually, and I used it and I was like, this works so much better. I don't know if it is because I used it in conjunction with the Urban Decay Naked palette or not, and maybe that's because they're the same brand, maybe they just worked together better, but I really liked it, so I bought the full size and I'm just packing that all over my lid and tapping it out with my finger. And then I'm gonna use the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, and I'm just taking that sort of peachy shade on a Zoeva 228 brush, and I'm just blending that back and forth in the crease very lightly. This is a really simple eye makeup look, so if you're new to playing around with shadows and blending and stuff like that, this look is a great look to start out with because you can't really go wrong. It's such a light shade on the lid and it's all about blending, so it's going to help you practice that, get better at that, and hopefully perfect that. So give it a go. Once I'm happy with that and it's all blended out, I'm going to pick up some of the shade Coral from MAC, and I'm using the same brush just to place this back and forth in the crease and really start to build that up. This shade is similar to the previous shades, but it's got a lot more of a peachy corally punch to it. So I'm using the same brush because it's not going to make too much difference. I don't need to pick up another brush because like I said, it's a similar colour. If I was going from black to gold to white, that's when I change brushes, if the colours are really drastically different. But if not, and it's just a soft blown out look, you can stick with the same brush. Make life easier for yourself. So I'm just taking my time to really build that up. You'll see it start to look more and more peach by the minute. And then once I'm happy with that, I'm going to pick up some of the same shade on my ring finger. I'm just going to swirl my finger into the pan and then really pack that onto the lid. Using your finger is going to pick up a lot more product and really pack it on nice and dense, so you get a bright pop of colour. MAC eyeshadows are not my favourite. Some of them tend to be not as pigmented as others, but it's okay. As long as you kind of really work it on and pack it on, you will build up that colour. So I'm just taking my time to pack that on. And then I'm going to take the same brush just to make sure it's all blended nicely. The lid and the crease is all blended into one, seamless right up to the brow. And then I'm also running some of that coral shade along the lower lash line with a Zoeva Luxe Petite Crease brush. For a bit of definition along the lashes, I'm going to take a dark brown. This one's from the Jaclyn Hill palette. You can use any dark brown that you've got. And I'm using a flat brush to kind of rub that back and forth into my lower lash line. And then I'm going to pick up the previous brush and soften that out. I don't want any harsh lines in this makeup look. It's all very soft, blown out, peach, summery vibe. So I'm softening that with the Zoeva brush. And then I'm also going to run that along my top lashes, just so that when I put my false lashes on, there's already a slight bit of definition along there, and then you won't see any gaps in between the strip lashes and my natural lashes. To highlight my inner corner, I'm taking this goldy, peachy, pinky shade from the Jaclyn Hill palette, and on a pencil brush, I'm just popping that onto the inner corner of my eye. Then I'm just going to add a coat of mascara to my top and bottom lashes. And whenever I do makeup looks like this that are kind of one colour, blown out, soft, nothing too crazy, I like to go for quite a bold but fluffy lash. The lashes that I'm using today are by My Lash Fix, and they are in the style Kylie. I love how there's like separation in between each strand of hair on these lashes. It gives you like a really doll-like effect. My Lash Fix specialise in 3D mink and silk hair lashes, and the thing about these lashes is they get more comfortable the more times you wear them. I think I've used this exact pair about 4 or 5 times, and every time I wear them they're just so comfortable. So after I've done that, I'm going to dust off that banana powder. And then one thing I always do if I am not putting a wing on my lash line is I'll take a black liner pencil and just kind of connect those false lashes to the inner corner of my eye. And then to highlight, I'm taking the Laura Geller Gilded Honey highlighter, and I'm placing that on the top of my cheekbones, on the tip of my nose, bridge of my nose, Cupid's bow, and basically anywhere else on my body that I can highlight, I'm going to do it, because this highlighter is stunning. I had no intention of buying this highlighter. I did look at it online a couple of times, but it was always sold out. And then I was out the other day and I was shopping for something else. I can't remember what for. But in the corner of my eye, I saw a small Laura Geller stand. And I was like, oh, I wonder if they've got Gilded Honey. And they did, and I bought it. And it's so nice. It's almost wet. I can't explain it, but it's like, it's a powder, but it looks wet on the skin. So it's just, it's lovely. Definitely try it if you can get your hands on it. And then to line my lips, I'm taking a Kiko lip liner. I will link the shade down below. It's kind of similar to Spice from MAC, but a bit more of a pinky orangey undertone. And I'm just lining my lips with that. So I went in with a few shades of lipstick to kind of get the right colour that I was looking for. At first I used Ravishing from MAC, which I felt was too orange. Then I went on top of that with Sweet and Sour from MAC, which I still felt was a little bit too orange. So I wanted to kind of nude it up a bit. So I took one from the Mariah Carey collection, I will link it down below, and kind of made it a little bit more nude. And then I went in with a gloss afterwards, you'll see. I was just being fussy, okay? And then the blusher that I used, of course, was Peaches from MAC. This is a peach look. How could I not? And then there's that gloss from Mally. I will link it down below. As with everything else, check down below. It will all be there. And because I loved that Laura Geller Gilded Honey so much, I couldn't get enough of it. So I used it to highlight my shoulders and my collarbones because my top was off the shoulder. I felt like that would look really nice. And that's the end of the tutorial. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to know your thoughts, and I love replying to you guys. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.